Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Welcome to Lady Khadija radiallahu anha online college. May God be pleased with her. It's A-level maths year 1. We are doing pure maths according to the Edexcel UK and international A-level syllabus. We've done some work on indices. Now it's time to apply it to an exam type question. So let's copy that. And so I want you to see this from the original wording rather than me write it out for you. So the question says, given that y is equal to 1 over 16 x squared, can you express each of the following in the form kx to the power n, where k and n are constants? And then you've got the two questions, which is number 1, y to the power half, and then number 2, 4y to the power 4y to the power minus 1. So the wording at the end of this sentence, express each of the following in the form kx to the power n, where k and n are constants. That's quite complicated wording. It doesn't need to be that complicated. All it's really saying is that see if you can use this y equals 1 over 16x squared to substitute into the y to the power half, so that you end up with something x to the power of something x to the power of something. So it doesn't really matter too much as long as you've got the x in there, not the y, and you've got some number before the x and some power as well. So let's try this. We've got y is equal to 1 over 16 x squared. We've got y to the power half, which is what we need to try and rearrange. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a substitution here. So this y is the same as this y, so that means this can go in. Just before I put it in the place where the y was, just going to put brackets around it, so we know that it's all of this that gets the power half applied to it. So now we can apply the power half separately in two stages. First to the number at the beginning, the 1 over 16, and then second to the x squared. So this would be 1 over 16 to the power half times, because there's an invisible times between the 1 over 16 and the x squared, times x squared to the power half. Then we're going to use our power laws here. A half really means square root, and this square root can be applied to the top and the bottom of a fraction. So this would become square root of 1 over square root of 16 times by, here we're going to use the power rule of timesing the power here and the new power outside the bracket. So 2 times a half, that's 1, so that becomes x to the power 1. Okay, square root of 1 is just 1. We can put plus and minus, but I'll just leave that out for now. And square root of 16 is 4, so that can be written as plus or minus 4. But in these type of questions, you don't really need to worry about the plus or minus, so it's just okay to put it as 4. So final answer is 1/4 x. Okay, just repeating that back just so you can see it once more. All you're doing is taking the expression they've given you, y to the power half, and you're substituting in the 1 over 16x squared. Then you're using your power laws, trying to apply, if you've got brackets and you've got more than one thing in the brackets, that power at the end here needs to apply to everything. So it applies to the 1 over 16, it applies to the x squared, and then you just need to simplify, remembering the power half is square root, and when you have two powers, you can multiply them. Okay, that's the first one done. Let's take a look at the second one. So this one is 4y to the power minus 1. Just have a look at that and take a think. Have a think what you think. What do you think we can do here? So we'll start off as before. We will do the substitution. So I've got 4y to the power minus 1. I can put brackets around the y I also know that y is equal to 1 over 16x squared. Put brackets around this and brackets around this. So here, this y bracket is the same as this, which means that I can do the same thing as before. Just put that in. Okay, then same thing as before. The 4 here is separate, that can stay on the outside, but the power minus 1 needs to be applied to each thing separately. So we have 4, and then we've got 1 over 16 to the power minus 1 times x squared to the power minus 1. Power minus 1 means 1 over, or with a fraction it just means you flip it. So we can do 4, we can have 16 to the 1 and 1 to the 1, applying that power of 1, and the minus means you flip the fraction. It's called negative reciprocal, it's just called reciprocal. Then here the powers can be times, so that's x to the power minus 2. Okay, a bit more work to do on this, so if you remember, power 1 is the same number, doesn't really affect anything, so that can be just written as 4 times 16 over 1. And then negative power means 1 over, so 1 over x squared. Okay, 4 times 16 then divided by 1 doesn't make any difference. 4 times 16 is 64, so I'll have 64 times 1 over x squared, which is just 64 over x squared. Just made a bit of space so I can write that down, so 64 over x squared. I'll put it out, just try and squeeze it here. So they're the steps, same as before, nothing different, applying the substitution and then working it out from there. Join me for more. Next lesson is probably going to go into surds. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace be with you and the mercy and blessings of God.